Marcus Rashford, welcome to Barcelona. He has officially arrived tonight. What a performance from Rashford at St. James's Park tonight against Newcastle in his very first game back on English soil as a Barcelona player after leaving Manchester United. Rashford has popped up with a magnificent performance, guys. A decisive performance for his first 2 goals for Barcelona. What a way to score your first 2 goals for Barcelona after leaving United on loan. Rashford has officially arrived. 2 cracking goals in the second half got the job done for Barca at St. James's Park, and Barca have returned to Champions League action with a very important and impressive win tonight, guys. We all knew that this game was not going to be easy by any means. This game was never going to be an easy game because we know how Newcastle can be, especially when they are playing at St. James's Park in front of that rousing crowd, guys. The first 20, 25 minutes of this game were the key. Barca had to weather the storm, and we did exactly that. And in the second half, and even just before the first half finished, Barca took total control of the game. It was a mature performance, composed, assured, brilliant performance from Hansi Flick's boys tonight, guys. So happy to return to the Champions League with an important win. Don't forget, last season we lost our first game against Monaco 2-1, but tonight we have resumed Champions League action with an important victory against a very good Newcastle United side tonight, guys. Newcastle were very good, especially in the first half. They had the better chances, guys. They could have taken the lead at least on 2 occasions in the first half. The first time a cross came in from Elanga, he was really dangerous tonight. Elanga tormented Gerard Martin on that left flank. Gerard Martin could not contain Anthony Elanga in that first half, and he was Newcastle's most dangerous player in that first half. He created very good chances for his strike partners. First of all, he laid the ball on for Gordon. Just a touch and Barca would have been behind, but Gordon completely missed the ball and were let off the hook. All this happened in that first 15, 20, 25 minutes that I spoke about earlier. Newcastle, they had Barca pinned back, and Elanga again, another ball in behind the defense. He got the better of Gerard Martin once again, and he squared the ball straight at Harvey Barnes. Harvey Barnes had the goal at his mercy. I thought Newcastle has scored there. But Joan Garcia, what a debut this guy has had. What a debut he has had in the Champions League. This was his very first European game in his career, guys. Don't forget, he came from Espanyol. Espanyol have not been in Europe for the longest time. So tonight was Joan Garcia's very first game in Europe as a professional footballer, and what a performance he put in tonight. He was composed, he was assured, he was brilliant all through, guys. He didn't have much to do, but when he was called upon, he was in command. He took absolute control of all the situations that were thrown his way. His catches were confident. He oozed confidence. You could see that the confidence was rubbing off on the team, and the whole defensive line, they were brilliant today. Ronald Araujo, what a performance, monstrous performance from the Uruguayan tonight. We didn't see him start the last game, but tonight he was immense. He was very important for Barca to get these 3 points in this league phase game. The offside trap worked to perfection as well. It seems like Araujo is beginning to get to grips with this offside trap bit by bit, and tonight he was excellent. He didn't put a foot wrong alongside Kubasi, Gerard Martin, and Koundé. I gotta talk about Koundé, guys. He was monstrous tonight, guys. Koundé is back to his best. Earlier in the season and in preseason, we saw that Eric Garcia was laying a claim to be the starting right back for Barca, but Koundé, he needed that rest, and those few games that Koundé did not start, we are beginning to see the rewards, because Koundé against Valencia in the weekend, he was superb, and tonight, once again, it was a masterclass, guys. Not just by the way he defends, but Koundé has grown into a reliable attacking fullback, guys. Koundé has completely transitioned from a center back to a right back, and he has done it right before our very eyes, guys. What a performance Koundé put in tonight. He laid on the first assist for Rashford. What a header, what a cross it was. It was from his left foot, by the way, his weaker foot, from the right wing. He put the ball in the box and Rashford was where he needed to be, and he made no mistake with the finish. Expert finish from Rashford in the second half, in the 58th minute, and Barca were ahead at St. James's Park, guys. All the pressure that Newcastle piled in the first half, all of a sudden we took the sting out of the game and we were leading, and Newcastle had to chase the game. And in the space of 9 minutes, Rashford made it 2-0, guys. This second goal, it has to be a contender for goal of the week in the Champions League, guys. I don't care what anybody wants to say about this. This Rashford goal, the second goal, was an absolute beauty. It was a cracker, guys. Rashford reminded everyone tonight what he's still capable of. I said this when Barca signed him, that Rashford still has a lot more football to play, and it could just be that Manchester United are actually the problem and not these players, because how many players have left Manchester United and they have gone on to thrive after leaving Manchester United? Rashford's case is looking like the latest in a long line of such scenarios, guys. Against Valencia at the weekend, he didn't score, but he laid on a brilliant assist for Rafinha. And now, in the very next game tonight against Newcastle, he's an English boy playing for a Spanish team, and he has come back on English soil, and he was the match winner, guys. What a performance. This showed personality. Rashford is on the right track, and I believe Rashford is going to do very well in this Barca team. He has now put his name firmly in the mind of Hansi Flick, because don't forget, Lamine Yamal was not available tonight, so Rafinha started from the right and Rashford started from the left. But when Lamine Yamal comes back, definitely there has to be a lot of rotation, because Hansi Flick has to find a way to utilize the whole squad, and it's only a good thing for us, because the competition is only going to help the team as a whole, because all of them will want to prove a point to the manager and will be up for it, guys. What a performance from Rashford tonight. He has struggled in the first few games. He has played all 4 games in La Liga before tonight, starting 2 and coming off the bench in the other 2, and tonight he started and he was the match winner. He was the difference between the two sides. But I can't end this video without giving a shout out to that midfield partnership of Frenkie de Jong and Pedri. What a duo Barcelona have on their hands. What a duo Barca has, guys. You don't know how lucky we are to have Pedri and Frenkie de Jong dictating things in that midfield. They were the key in that second half. Pedri and Frenkie de Jong were the key in that second half. They were the reason why Barca took absolute control of the game. Remember, we had to weather a storm because it was relentless pressing from Newcastle. In the first 15, 20, 25 minutes of the game, Barca did not have a sniff. Like, they didn't let us breathe on the ball, and the crowd, of course, you know that the crowd was always going to be pushing them on, and Barca handled that maturedly. It was a matured performance, a champion's performance from Barca tonight. What a way to start the Champions League campaign, guys. And Frenkie de Jong and Pedri, guys, we are so lucky to have these guys. They don't lose the ball, bro. Like, they don't give away possession. They controlled this game in the second half. Newcastle, they were just chasing shadows, guys. Newcastle were chasing shadows for the most of that second half. And after they scored, when Gordon pulled a goal back in the 90th minute, the crowd was buzzing, guys. They thought that they were going to stand a chance of ending a comeback, because they had introduced the likes of Walter and the likes of Murphy. Of course, Murphy's cross led to Gordon's goal, so we know that Murphy can put those balls into the box, and he did that for Walter against Wolves at the weekend. So at that point, the crowd thought that Newcastle were going to snatch a late draw. But what did Barca do after this? This midfield duo of Frenkie de Jong and Pedri, they just took over the game from that moment. Newcastle did not have one chance of getting the cross into the box. And this was a masterful performance from Barca tonight. The game has ended 2-1, but this game was a very impressive performance from Barca tonight. Rashford, of course, with this performance and the impact he had in this game, he was rightly named the man of the match. But the truth is, the whole team, they were brilliant tonight, guys. And incredible management from Hansi Flick in the second half, because after that first half, he knew what to do and he told his boys what to do, and his boys delivered, like we've seen so many occasions, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, guys. And if you enjoyed this video, please do give this video a like, turn on the notification bell so that whenever I drop, you shall be notified. And most importantly, please do not forget to subscribe, follow, and like the video. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next video. Adios.